The evening sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the small town. A chill wind rustled the leaves as five friends, bound by a shared curiosity for the unknown, found themselves drawn to the outskirts where an abandoned house stood in eerie silence. The old wooden structure, weathered by time and neglect, seemed to beckon them with its shattered windows and creaking timbers. Among the group were Alex, the thrill-seeker, with an insatiable appetite for the supernatural, Emma, the skeptic, who tagged along for the adventure, Ryan, the history buff, who couldn't resist the allure of a mysterious house, Mia, the empath, who felt a strange energy emanating from the old structure, and Jake, the jokester, who masked his unease with laughter. As they approached the forgotten house, vines snaked their way up the crumbling walls, like nature's attempt to reclaim what had been abandoned by man. The air around the house felt heavy, as if the very atmosphere held the weight of its untold stories. "Are you sure about this, Alex?" Emma asked, her voice tinged with skepticism. "This place gives me the creeps." Alex grinned, the excitement evident in their eyes. "Come on, Emma. Where's your sense of adventure? This place is practically begging us to explore its secrets." Ryan, peering at the house through his glasses, chimed in. "I read somewhere that this place has been empty for decades. There's got to be something interesting inside." Mia, her eyes wide with a mix of trepidation and curiosity, added, "I can sense something, a presence. It's like the house itself is alive." Jake, ever the joker, tried to lighten the mood. "Maybe it's just a ghost looking for a roommate. Who's up for some paranormal cohabitation?" The friends shared a nervous laugh, their anticipation masking the underlying unease that lingered in the air. They reached the front door, its paint long peeled away, revealing the bare wood beneath. With a collective breath, they pushed the door open, its rusty hinges groaning in protest. As they explored further, Alex's gaze fell upon a room tucked away in the corner. In the dim light, they spotted an old wooden table adorned with an antique mirror that seemed to capture the essence of the fading sunlight. "This is it," Alex declared, a spark of excitement in his eyes. "Let's set up the makeshift Ouija board here. Who's ready to make contact with the other side?" The friends gathered around the old wooden table, the makeshift Ouija board placed carefully in the center. Flickering candles danced shadows on the walls, adding an eerie ambience to the room. As they placed their hands on the table, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. "All right, everyone, let's see if there's anyone here," Alex said, their voice echoing with a mix of excitement and nervousness. The friends exchanged glances, their eyes reflecting a combination of skepticism and curiosity. The planchette began to move slowly across the board, guided by unseen forces. "Is there anyone with us?" Emma asked, her tone wavering between doubt and intrigue. The planchette spelled out the letters, "I am here." A shiver ran down Mia's spine as she felt a sudden chill in the room. "I can sense a presence, something old and something powerful." Ryan, engrossed in the experience, and questioned, "What do you want from us?" The planchette moved with purpose, spelling out, "Life." A collective gasp escaped the friends as they exchanged nervous glances. Jake, always quick with a quip, nervously chuckled, "Well, that's not ominous at all." As they continued their session, the room seemed to grow colder, and the flickering candles cast distorted shadows on the walls. Suddenly, the planchette moved more rapidly, spelling out a series of letters that no one had anticipated. "Meet me." The friends exchanged puzzled glances, uncertain about the meaning of the message. But before they could discuss it further, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Mia's eyes glazed over, her gaze fixed on the antique mirror. Unbeknownst to the others, she was slipping into a trance, a gateway to a realm where the living and the spectral intertwined. In her vision, Mia found herself standing in a place that seemed frozen in time. The air was heavy with an ancient energy, and a figure, cloaked in shadow, materialized before her. As the figure revealed itself, Mia was overcome with an indescribable sense of dread. The entity, with eyes like voids, spoke to her without words, conveying a hunger for life that sent shivers down her spine. Suddenly, Mia snapped back to reality, her eyes wide with terror. The room felt charged with an otherworldly energy. The friends stared at her, concern etched on their faces. "What happened?" Alex asked, reaching out to Mia. "I saw it," Mia whispered, her voice shaky. "I saw the entity in the mirror, and it wants more than just contact. It wants to meet us in person." Unease lingered in the air as the friends hastily packed up their makeshift Ouija board and left the abandoned house. Mia's revelation about the entity's desire for physical meeting weighed heavily on their minds. The night air outside felt crisp, but a lingering tension followed them like a silent spectre. Emma, normally the voice of reason, couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed within her. As they walked away from the abandoned house, she cast uneasy glances over her shoulder, half expecting to see shadows lurking in the corners. Days passed, and the friends tried to resume their normal lives, but an unspoken tension held them captive. Emma, in particular, found herself haunted by the entity's presence. Reflections became her torments. Every mirror, every window seemed to hold distorted versions of reality, dark figures at the edge of her peripheral vision, disappearing when she turned to confront them. Nightmares plagued Emma's sleep. She found herself in a shadowy realm where the entity's whispers echoed through the void. Its voice was cold, commanding, urging her to carry out a sinister task. "Kill one of your friends," it murmured, the words reverberating in her mind like a malevolent chant. Emma woke up in a cold sweat, heart pounding. The lines between dreams and reality blurred, and the once comforting realm of sleep became a realm of dread. The entity's voice continued to whisper in her waking hours, a constant reminder of the malevolent force that had latched onto their lives. Haunted and sleep-deprived, Emma hesitated to share her experiences with the others. Fear of judgment and disbelief held her tongue. Yet the entity persisted, revealing itself in the reflections of her daily life, its form becoming more defined with each passing day. One evening, as the friends gathered at Mia's apartment to discuss the unsettling events, Emma excused herself to the bathroom. Alone in the dimly lit place, she stared at a reflection in the mirror, half expecting to see the entity staring back. To her horror, the figure materialized behind her in the mirror, its eyes voids of malice fixed upon her. "You must end the threat," it whispered, the cold breath of its words sending shivers down Emma's spine. Emma stumbled backward, her pulse racing. The entity's demands echoed in her mind, and she found herself torn between the safety of her friends and the malevolent force that sought to manipulate her. The weight of the entity's demands bore down on Emma, and as the days passed, her internal struggle intensified. The once close bond between the friends began to fray as Emma grappled with the malevolent force that whispered dark commands in the recesses of her mind. Haunted by visions and tormented by the entity's relentless whispers, Emma's behavior grew erratic. She withdrew from her friends, the isolation becoming a breeding ground for the shadows that plagued her. Every reflective surface seemed to harbor the entity's gaze, a constant reminder of the sinister pact it sought to forge. One evening, the friends gathered once more, hoping to find a solution to the growing menace. The atmosphere in Mia's apartment was tense as they discussed their next move, unaware of the internal struggle raging within Emma. As the discussion reached its peak, Emma's eyes darted nervously between her friends, the weight of the entity's demands pressing down on her shoulders. Unable to contain the torment any longer, she abruptly stood, her chair scraping the floor. "I can't do this anymore," Emma declared, her voice tinged with desperation. Confused glances were exchanged as the friends tried to make sense of Emma's sudden outburst. "I need everyone to leave now!" Her eyes pleading for understanding. Alex, concerned, approached her. "Emma, what's going on? We're here for you." But Emma recoiled, her fear manifesting as frustration. "You don't understand. None of you understand what I'm going through. We just need to leave." Reluctantly, the friends left, casting worried glances over their shoulders. Later, as Emma was alone in the confines of her apartment, she succumbed to the darkness that loomed within. Shadows danced around her, echoing the entity's sinister whispers that reverberated her mind. Over the following days, Emma's isolation deepened. She avoided reflective surfaces, fearing the entity's malevolent gaze. Sleep became an elusive refuge, the nightmares merging with waking hours. The entity's demands echoed relentlessly, driving a wedge between Emma and her friends. One evening, as Emma stared into the mirror, the entity's figure materialized once again, its eyes piercing into her soul. "Time is running out. The sacrifice must be made," it hissed, its voice venomous. Emma, now a mere shell of her former self, recoiled from the reflection. Tears welled in her eyes as she grappled with the torment that threatened to consume her. The once vibrant spirit that defined her had become a battleground for the forces of light and darkness. Desperation etched across her face. Emma made a decision that would alter the course of their fates. She reached for her phone, trembling, and began dialing a number. The night was heavy with an unspoken tension as Emma awaited Alex's arrival. The apartment, dimly lit by a flickering candle, felt like a battleground where the forces of light and darkness waged a silent war. Emma clutched her phone, the weight of a decision pressing down on her. As Alex entered the apartment, concern etched on his face, Emma greeted him with a forced smile. The air was thick with anticipation as they engaged in a careful dance of conversation, avoiding the ominous spectre that loomed over their every word. As the night progressed, Emma led Alex to the bedroom, the shadows dancing on the walls like wraiths heralding an impending darkness. The entity's whispers, now a cacophony in Emma's mind, urged her to fulfill the sinister pact. In the intimate confines of the bedroom, Emma and Alex sought solace in each other's arms. Their connection, once a beacon of warmth, now became a vessel for the entity's malevolent influence. As they lay entwined, the room seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. As the clock ticked towards the witching hour, Emma's movements became deliberate. Her eyes, once filled with warmth, now held a vacant gaze. The entity's demands echoed in her mind, drowning out the remnants of her humanity. In the stillness of the night, Emma's hands moved with an otherworldly precision, snuffing out the flickering candle. Darkness enveloped the room like a shroud, concealing the impending act from prying eyes. As Emma's hands closed around Alex's throat, a surge of power coursed through her veins. The entity, sensing the life force it craved, reveled in the macabre dance playing out in the shadows. In the final moments before the darkness claimed him, Alex's eyes mirrored a mix of confusion and betrayal. With a final, agonized gasp, Alex's life force was extinguished. The room fell into an eerie silence, broken only by the malevolent whispers that lingered in the air. As Emma stood over the lifeless body of her friend, a strange calm enveloped her. The entity, sated by the sacrifice, began to manifest itself. Shadows congealed, and the antique mirror in the corner of the room rippled with an otherworldly energy. In a surreal twist of fate, Emma felt herself being drawn towards the mirror. The boundaries between the physical and the spectral realm blurred, and with a jolt, she found herself standing within the mirror's confines. The entity, now free from the confines of its reflective prison, emerged in the physical realm, adopting Emma's form as it walked the earth once more. As dawn broke on the horizon, the apartment stood silent. bearing witness to the tragic events that had unfolded. The antique mirror, now devoid of life, reflected the emptiness that lingered within its depths. The entity, wearing Emma's guise, blended seamlessly into the waking world, its insatiable hunger ready to consume the life force of the living. The shadows cast by reflections held secrets that would remain buried, as the entity, now unleashed upon the world, sought new vessels to satiate its eternal hunger.